brighter than light. He'll give you strife. He's Todd. He's tall, he's mean. He's labeling machine. He's Todd. Rides a motorbike. He'll tell you what it's like. He's Todd. Don't know what he'll say. He'll scare the kids away. He's Todd. He's Todd.
Good morning. How the hell are you? Happy Thursday again. You know, the time just flies by. I mean, it just seems like yesterday we had our previous show. So welcome to episode 42. And I got to tell you, there's nothing like a hot cup of coffee and a BM first thing in the morning. And this Bloody Mary actually is non-alcoholic, for all that you know. But anyway, so thanks for joining once again. We got a great show for you today. So let's get you caught up on the news. I was actually in Arizona last week, and we've got a couple of big projects back there that we're working on. And I actually went out and played a little golf, and I think I actually have a picture. Let's see here. Okay, let's see if this works. So here I am on the golf course. All right, and there's the first shot right there. So as you can see, I got dressed up for the occasion. I grew an instant set of hair, or a head of hair for this. It was hotter than hell. One of the other things is I had a customer ask me how many putts I had on the previous hole. And so here's my response right here. All right, one putt, one and done, one and done. So anyway, great time in Arizona last week, and we had a lot of fun. What else is going on? So good to be back. I'm actually heading back out there next week. So looking forward to that. I hear it's cooling down a little bit. So as I mentioned in the previous episodes, we're kind of heading in a different direction in the fact of, you know, labeling gets boring. And so, before that, there's news. And we had a marketing meeting last week, and this show is actually taking off, and we're going to different platforms. So we're going to Instacart, live on Instacart, huh? And what's that, Kate? Well, by the way, if you don't know, Kate yells at me in the background. We have a private chat down here. So it's not Instacart. Thank you, Kate. It's Instagram. Insta this, Insta that, Insta crap. Hey, speaking of Insta crap, we just had a taco shop open down the street there a little way, so I'm going to have to try that out. So anyway, we're going on Instagram, and so I'm all excited about that. That's a completely different platform that we use on Instagram, so they're going to be complete separate shows, and we can't stream the way we normally stream. So get ready for BS with Todd on Instagram. And for those who are just joining me for the first time, I'm Todd. Right? Shirt says so. And we talk BS. Last week on the golf course, it was a different kind of BS. But here we talk brother solutions. And going back to what I was saying previously is that the direction we're heading, because labeling tends to get a little boring, and I'm really out of gas on that and out of content, is that we are inviting partners on board. And one of the things that brother did many, many years ago is that we did a collaboration with a big certification company. All right. In fact, I'll mention it was Fluke. Right. It's no big deal. Very successful. A couple of weeks ago, I hope you saw my episode with AEM, and we have a collaboration with them as well. This week, I am very excited to announce a collaboration with Trend Networks, and you may recognize them by the Ideal Days. But I've got a couple of special guests today. We'll bring them on in a minute. But the whole idea behind this collaboration with these different manufacturers is to make your life, if you're installing or if you're selling the products, a lot easier, because they go hand in hand. Peanut butter and jelly, Forrest and Jenny, whatever you want to compare it to. So the idea of this process is to, with all my certification partners and collaborations out there, is to preload the head unit, the certification unit, with all the IDs that you're going to be testing. Makes it a hell of a lot easier versus the old days where I'd stand in front of a patch panel and I'd go from port to port and have to hand type the ports, and forget about that. It's kind of like the old days of labeling, which I did too, where you type out one label, you hit print, and then you type in the next label, you hit print. Or if you do a patch panel and you do a test strip patch panel and it doesn't quite match up, because you're a few spaces off. So for some of us old farts out there, you know exactly what I'm talking about, using those handheld printers. So again, what this collaboration does is it takes that same database that is going to be loaded into the certification head unit to make life a hell of a lot easier. So you can just go port to port to port to port to port, right? And all the information is already embedded in that head unit. But it'd make it a hell of a lot easier if you can take that same database and embed it in our PT-E550W. So it's been a great success, and Trend is our latest collaboration partner. And without further ado, I want to introduce Mike and Wendy. I've known Wendy for many, 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 many years. We go back quite a ways to my previous labeling gig, if you will. And so it was really great to catch up with Wendy. And then I think I've met Mike in passing, but this is the first opportunity I've really had to have some really serious conversation with Mike. So Mike and Wendy, without further ado, I think what we're going to do here is they are going to show you from their perspective as far as the certification process and their cloud service. And then we're going to get into not only how you get that database inside of the head unit, but get that database inside of the PT-E550W. And Mike and Wendy are actually coming today from one of our distribution partners in Philadelphia, Shadler Yesco. Try saying that fast 3 times. I had to practice that before I said it. So anyway, they are coming from one of our distribution partners out there, halfway across the country. So without further ado, Mike and Wendy, it's your show for a little bit, and please take it away. I'll sit in the background and look pretty. So what we're going to do is, what I'm going to talk about is, and I've gone through this process, and while these guys in the background are working on their audio, and I think there's a internet connection issue out there. The whole idea of this, guys, is that there is what's called the Anywhere Cloud out there with Trend. And the idea is that you can take a CSV and you can put it up on Anywhere Trend, all right, or the Trend Anywhere Cloud. And not only can you load your head unit out in the field, and I know this is repetitive, what I was saying earlier, but the beauty is it really is done from one app. And one of the things I was pointing out to Mike and Wendy yesterday is that with some of our other, in fact, I took it down, but our first collaboration, you have to use 2 apps. And you had to use their app to bring in, then you had to use our link and label, which still isn't a bad process. Don't get me wrong. It's fairly easy. But the beautiful thing about this is that we can bring in through a single app. And so while they're in the background trying to fix this up, Kate, I'm going to share my screen, if that's okay with you. And let's go ahead and all right, go ahead, Kate. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pop this on, and we're going to see my phone here. So let's go ahead and do this, and I'm going to run through some of the process. So here we are, all right, and it really is a simple process. So instead of utilizing 2 different apps, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go up into the Anywhere, all right, and I'm going to look for let me know when you're all good. Let me know when you're okay. So I'm just reading the stuff in the background. So what Mike was going to show you, and once they get back on, they can still go into the process. But what I'm doing is it's a free cloud service. Anyone can create an account out there. But when I create a job, I can upload a CSV to that job. The beautiful thing about this is that there's a little icon right above that green on and off button that looks like a movie roll, all right? So this is the process of actually how to get that CSV or Excel, SSX, or whatever you're using, right, into your job creation process. So Wendy's going to run you through that process right here. And then at some point, either Mike or myself will go ahead and we'll get back on and kind of pick up where I left off. But again, the whole purpose of this is kind of a one and done. And please excuse the technical difficulties.
Yeah.
You know, BS happens. So it happens quite a bit, but that's the fun of this show.
That's right. Okay, so when you want to explain what you've done here?
I've already imported the tests, and now I'm just choosing. This is new cabling, so I'm doing permanent link and ANSI Cat 6A standard, although in the background, our tester always measures all the other parameters and up to 500 megahertz, no matter which 5E6 or 6A standard you choose. And I'm also going to tell it what my cable type is, which is typically Cat 6A UTP. I'm not putting any cable brand or connector brand, but I can do that and go ahead and create it. And now my job folder that had 0 cable IPs in it now has 84 of them. So that's ready to go, and I can sync that down to my LanTEK IV so that I'm ready to physically test the cables, and they will be properly labeled. But then, Mike, if you want to share your screen and we can show how we'll do this on the app. All I did was log into my Anywhere Cloud account. Now at this point, I'm out in the field. Here's my same job.
There you go.
Same folder, and of course it's a little condensed on my tiny little phone, but all I do is tap the CSV or the label, which I could also use from the cloud to create a CSV or Excel file and send it over to my printer at that point. But I'm in the field already, and I need to get this to my Brother printer app, so I'm just going to download it, and there's my folder that I want to send it into. Here's my actual file that matches what I have in my tester and in the cloud. And now I'm going to forward it to Save to Files. And I'm going to go to my iLink and Label app to my Trend Networks folder and save it. And now I am not, this is where you should take it over, Todd, because I am not a field technician who's savvy with the...
I got it.
Yeah, but again, I can certainly find it in here. So, yeah.
So go ahead and click the database. Let's go ahead and finish this. Click to send to database. And you can see in the Trend Networks folder, there is the file that Wendy just put in there. So she can select that and then send to printer. We do not have a printer here with us. So what we're going to do is turn it back over to Todd to see, once this file gets into this application, what do we do with it then? I'd also like to add a couple of things. In this example, we had Wendy import the test into the project, into the job, and then she exported it out to the iLink and Label application. You could also take that file, because now you have the CSV file, and we could email that to Todd or email that to the project manager. We could email it to somebody else. So depending on your system and your process and how you do this, you might find that you'd want to do the certification and labeling at the same time. You may certify, then come back and label, whatever. It can work either way.
Technician at each end of the links, because you're going to be labeling at the panel and at the jack, and everybody's got their own Brother labelers.
So there's the one way, so there's two different ways we can do this, which is fantastic news. Number one is that you can pull that CSV directly out of the Anywhere Cloud. That's number one, right?
Yep.
The second thing that Mike was alluding to, which I'm going to show you right now, is, if you didn't want to go through that process, and again, the beauty of having that job out there on Anywhere is that any tech in the field that has access to that web can go in and they can pull down that job site. if you want to be tech specific on a job site and you want to take that very same CSV file and you want to send it to that project manager specifically, okay, proprietary, I'm going to show you how to do that. And again, it's a very simple process. Now, one of the things I will point out, which I did find kind of goofy, is that Wendy's, working from her old flip phone or pager, whatever she's using. And the process that she did is a little bit different than the iPhone 11s. All right. So the iPhone 11, somehow iOS, they changed the app a little bit. But one of the things we're going to do, and one of the things we were discussing yesterday, is that when we come up with the marketing, we're going to put a couple of different QR codes on there. Mm-hmm. One QR code is going to be linked to iPhone and older, Wendy. The second one is going to be iPhone and newer, and there's going to be very distinct instructions on how to pull that information from the cloud and get it into iLink and Label. But what I wanted to show you, and Kate, I'm going to share my phone real quick here. One of the things that I wanted to show you was Mike yesterday. You can see up in right here, Mike emailed me a label file yesterday. Mm-hmm. The very simple way of getting that into iLink and Label is you're going to tap on that. It's going to give you the list of all the IDs here. All right. In the upper right-hand corner. All right. You tap on that arrow up, you share file via. In fact, you know what? Let me go back though, because I'm going to show you that in iLink and Label, you can see I don't have the file I'm going to throw in there. All right. So just to basically back up my BS, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into that particular file. All right. Let's start from the beginning. Let's go back here. All right. So there's Mike's file. Tap on the upper right hand arrow. You're going to go to share file via. All right. You're going to go to save the files. You'll go to iLink and Label. You'll hit the save. Now, when I go back into iLink and Label, whoop, wrong app. There it is right there. All right. So you saw earlier I didn't have Mike's file in there. That's as easy as, and again, there's your IDs. All right. The beauty about this is now you can now connect your phone to the PT-E550. And I'm not going to do that right now because I've got too many damn things on the Wi-Fi. But let me explain how the Wi-Fi works on the PT-E550. I'm going to stop sharing my screen right now. The way it works on the PT-E550 is that it's a peer-to-peer connection. So we tried Bluetooth. Bluetooth was not reliable, so it's a peer-to-peer connection. So what happens is when I connect my phone to the PT-E550, it establishes direct communications with it, and you're really not able, in fact, you're not able to hook up to or hit other networks until you disconnect, right? So at that particular point with that particular file, all I would do is basically hit send. The beauty of hitting send is now that database is inside the unit. And then what I can do is I can manipulate all of these white buttons right here. I can manipulate that database into cable wraps, into patch panels, into essentially whatever I want out there. So the whole idea is it's kind of a one and done, right, out there. And I don't know why we're looking at a blank screen or a black screen right now. I see my little thing in the background, but nonetheless, that's the beauty of the collaboration. So this is a new collaboration. Look for more marketing material to come. Again, we'll have QR codes based upon the type of phone that you have out there and what the easiest method it is to get that database into the actual printer itself. So with that being said, and I'm not going to apologize for the technical difficulties. You know what? BS happens. Again, I'm going to say that again. And so it is what it is. I think based upon, we did the best that we could today with what we had. I want to thank Wendy. I want to thank Mike. Mike and Wendy, any closing thoughts or bad advice? Or
I'll just say on the mistake that generally the cloud and the tester are smarter than we are. So they'll catch things like, hello, you already downloaded this file. You're going to have duplicate IDs. So that was the message I got. So shame on us for not realizing we were reusing. So that's what's the catch. But yeah.
I'm telling you, that this thing is smarter than I am. Right? It's smarter than I am. So it's okay. We went through this process time and time again prior to the show, and we always make sure we're rehearsing this and that. But you know what? Stuff happens. It is what it is. Trust me when I say it's a very, very, very easy process. Yeah. There's another feature that's between us and Trend that's in the works right now. I'm not going to divulge that information. It is in the works. We're having our engineers work on it, but it's very, very exciting. So please stay tuned for that. Mike, any closing thoughts, comments?
Yeah, again, the process, we made it more difficult, of course, because that's what we do sometimes. But the process is very simple. Again, you can, with our LanTEK IV, you can plug in a wireless dongle and you do a keyboard and mouse. So if you want to do it from the LanTEK that way, you can do it. If you want to do it from the cloud, you can do it. If you want to do it individual that way, you can do that as well. If you want to do incremental, you can do that way. You can import them. So there's whatever way works for you and your process. And then again, once you get them into the cloud, into the LanTEK, to get them out to the Brother printer, there are multiple ways to do that as well. Again, email or send it right to the app yourself if you want to do it that way. So the instructions we'll give you the different multitude of ways that you can do it, and you fit the way that works for your process. But the bottom line is you never have to type in a cable ID.
Love it. And that's the whole idea. So Wendy and Mike, I want to thank you for coming at everyone live today from Philadelphia. Y'all, please stay safe out there in your travels, and we will be talking soon. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Hey, thank you, Todd. Appreciate it.
All right, guys, have a good day. So one of the other things is I'm going to give you a little teaser as to what we have coming up in previous episodes. The good thing about what we're doing right now and partnering is that my dance card is basically filled until, almost February right now. And people are lining up. So that's a good thing. So on October 7th, this is something that I've been waiting a very long time for. As you know, we print on these labels right here. All right, you guys have seen plenty of those. But the exciting thing is we are launching a new product, and I'm going to give you a little bit of teaser on the actual product itself. So, Brother, basically, as far as I'm concerned, runs or owns the datacom market, the low voltage market, and we're making big headways into the electrical market. One of the things that is going to help Brother expand more into the electrical and safety market is the addition of 4-inch labels, up to 4-inch labels. So something like that. How about a nice lockout, tagout, something like that. The ability to print on demand. And so the machines are almost ready to go. In fact, they are ready to go, but our official launch date is a couple of days away. I'm really excited about this. I've got some customers in Arizona that are, just biting their teeth, waiting to get a hold of this. And so that's October 7th. October 14th. No, wait, I'm such a moron. That's on October 14th. On October 7th, we have Vassar out there, all right? And we're going to talk about tray runway bondage and some splicing. That should be a really interesting show. And how labeling fits in with that. So make sure you tune in on the 7th. October 14th, I don't know how I'm going to follow up October 7th show with the one on the 14th, but I'll find a way to do it. And then October 21st, we got RXL, data center, zone containment. And again, how labeling fits in with that. And yes, folks, labeling does fit in with that as well. All right, so I have one more thing to share with you. You've been sending in your cards and letters, and apparently nobody knows where Jamie Brookover was or even currently is. He won't answer his phone. So anyway, Jamie's been a guest on the show many, many times, and I want to kind of show you his new venture and his new I don't know what you call it, his hobby, if you will. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to show you a recent picture of Mr. Brookover. And so let's go ahead and well, here's Jamie right here. So here, Jamie has gotten into competitive diving, and here he is doing the famous triple Brookover. So again, Jamie's out there, but he's really pursuing these habits and habits and hobbies. So let's go ahead and let's show our contact information, Kate, if you will. Everyone knows how to get a hold of me, but here's how to get a hold of Wendy and Mike. And so if you have any questions, comments, concerns, and specifically on the Trend LanTEK, obviously I'm no expert. Hell, I'm not even an expert at labeling. But if you have any questions on Trend Networks, please reach out to Wendy and Mike. Jamie, I see you calling. I'm not going to answer your phone. As far as the team goes, again, I'm in Southern California. I might as well move to damn Arizona as much as I'm out there these days. Mr. Jamie Brookover, who, again, I'm not going to answer your call right now. Jamie is out in Virginia Beach. Mr. Dan Cobb is in Wisconsin. Kate, we may as well someday put up where Bruce Page is, because I keep messing it up. Marble Mouth, or he's somewhere in Chicago. I don't know. Anyways, back east. And then we got Mr. Rob Dawkins out in North Carolina. And Mr. Craig Robinson, who's actually on PTO, has been on PTO, I think, for the last 3 weeks. He's at the Ryder Cup. And it must be nice. Jamie, I'm not answering your call. But anyway, folks, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or otherwise, please get a hold of me or get a hold of one of us out there. You know what? Technical difficulties happen. We've gone 4 minutes over. I appreciate you sticking around. The next show should be a doozy. So tune in for that. And then again, we got a plethora of things lined up. So with that being said, please stay safe out there. If you are traveling, safe travels to you. If not, just stay healthy, because we need the viewers. Brother needs to eat, right? So please come back and join us on the next episode. If you missed this one, catch me at bswithtodd.com. So with that being said, I'm going to call it a day.